and welcome to Gerg and Muxl, a podcast that seeks to explore the unexplored topics in games, how they work, and why we love them. I am Muxl here, and I'm just introing this episode of Gerg and Muxl where we played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Here are some thoughts after our stream. The summary of our time is that we spent about an hour and a half going through the first couple of levels and got stalled somewhere around the second one. So I hope you enjoy getting to hear our thoughts about this skating game.
What do you think would, like, if you owned this game, right? If this was like your game and this is where you were at right now, what do you think you'd spend your time doing?
I would probably spend time. I'd probably go back to the first map and just keep on getting better at tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I felt so much more comfortable and I could string things together.
Yeah, me too. Interesting.
I may create a skater or whatever, but I'd probably take a little bit and try to get more comfortable. It does come to the level of the not hand holding might be a little bit, I don't know. And we're just playing it for the first time, but like, yeah, what do? You just try to get better. But if you don't want to get better, then you're just done with the game.
Right.
And it doesn't really tell you how to get better or what you need to be getting better at.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you'd have to study it to really understand that.
I mean, the game's pretty descriptive with how you get points and what's good and what's bad. Even just a really simple, like, blue is an environmental thing on top of a point. Green is a perfect, which means you landed it perfectly. Red is sloppy, which means you didn't, like all that jazz. So it's pretty intuitive in a lot of the... It's just not clear. Got that one level, it's just not clear, like it wasn't clear that you could break the glass in this one, right? But, like, just naturally you're probably going to run into the glass at some point, and you break it, and you're like, oh, that's the thing that we can do. It wasn't really clear on almost any interaction.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really not clear what you can and can't interact with. They don't have any graphical representation of what those things are, You just kind of have to trust your gamer sense. And
yeah, that's a really good point. Like, we were trying to figure out what door you could go in, because...
Yeah, it wasn't clear if you could just bust through things, Like with the glass, you touch it and everything shatters.
And I think some of the stuff we said is pretty fair. Like, it's really easy to pick up.
Yeah.
The first level feels great. You immediately start with, like... It's just really well designed. There's lots of half pipes, lots of things to jump off of. It is basically a skate park.
Yeah. I'm confused by how quickly I went from having a lot of fun to really not having any fun.
Yeah, that is kind of confusing.
Which I don't know if was more normal for a system like this that is literally just one system. It just feels like they really upped the difficulty, because like the only way to do anything in that second level was having traversal down like pretty stat, like being able to do the thing that you want to do every single time,
right? Which
is like also like even in terms of like getting off that ramp onto the roof goes so fast, then you don't have any time to like think about the next thing you could do there.
Yeah.
So I get like the free skate is a good addition there, but it did just seem like you have to practice until you get traversal down, and then maybe the rest of the game will be super easy after that, like once you figure out the ways to do that. But
yeah,
there was definitely a lack of direction. I felt like it was just the one map to the second one, as well as not giving you any choice other than just to go to that next map. That felt... here, we're playing the demo here for the...
for the school.
For this level.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at the movement, even.
Yeah.
It
seems just to be able to consistently do things.
Like, look at... it's just like, I don't feel like maybe we could try other skaters, and that would have helped with some of this. But,
maybe Tony Hawk was just really good at like skate parks, and other skaters were better at like moving around.
Yeah, more like free skating around to like an area. Yeah. I do feel like the ramping had an issue. Like,
yeah.
The first level felt so good. We wanted to go back there and just keep playing it.
Yeah.
Because it was like just like trying to do tricks and trying to go for 75,000 points would probably be the next thing I did on here. It's
also interesting, like, I really enjoyed trying to find the big, like, hang times, too, like the big airs in the level. I thought that was cool. Because that's, again, not immediately... It's something that you can, like, piece together via just, like, looking at the park, but it's not, like, handheld. It's not given to you, like, where the big airs are going to be. And there's even a great, like, introduction that just starts you on a big ramp. I think the other thing was that there's a lot of the game is so momentum-based, and there's a lot of ways to get new momentum in the first level, and the second one there wasn't. Like, the second level is like almost entirely just downhill.
Yeah.
And then there's like one or two ramps at the bottom of that. But getting back up, like, getting ways to get your speed back was, like, really hard in that level, and there was a lot of... That whole level was kind of based around, like...
Big jumps, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, like, a lot of, like, gaps between buildings and all sorts of crazy stuff.
So it being both traversal based and then being really punishing in terms of your ability to traverse, as opposed to the first one, which was not horribly traversal based and it was really forgiving in terms of being able to reestablish your
momentum,
and like omnidirectionally too. You know, like you could like get momentum in almost any direction by finding a ramp and then going off of it into that direction, or you know, like getting air and then going back down.
Yeah.
Whereas that seemed to be a lot harder in the second mission.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's just a level like maybe the third mission would have been more fun.
Yeah,
You know?
I think there's a few things that could have done that, and maybe if we would have gotten into the gym, it would have been a little.
Or maybe we
like,
just suck. I don't know.
I mean, I think there's also a level of that. We did play
Yeah.
the game for like 2 hours, not even.
Yeah.
So
On a controller without clear control scheme.
yeah, so like there's a level of like you would just probably take more time to learn the game.
Yeah, that's the thing that I appreciate too, is that there's a level of you know, that might be part of our modern gamer, you know, like wanting to be able to jump in and feel like Batman immediately.
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
having to earn feeling like Batman, which is very much this game. You know, you have there's an immense amount of mastery that could be applied to this.
Definitely.
And pretty intuitive control scheme in a lot of ways. You know, it's starting to figure out towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
After only a couple hours of play, tops. And then the times when we did stuff that felt like so good. Like, it's so cool to me too that you can get like, you don't need that like level of 2018 polish and AAA thing to get like good feelings out of games. Like,
Yeah.
platforming well is like such a good feeling,
Mhm.
no matter where it was, you know, in time.
Yeah.
All the way back to if you get a really great Super Mario Brothers run, you know, and you like fall perfectly onto the Goomba and then bounce into something else and like keep going your momentum and then get up high on the flagpole, is like that same feeling can be evoked,
Mm-hmm.
really regardless of the time period,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and that people aren't. It's funny because like when you really get into the flow, you're not appreciating the graphical fidelity of the game.
Yeah,
right?
you didn't even notice that
Like-
it was phasing in.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know. There's like an interesting point to be made about some of those graphics. A lot of them are for the people watching the game. They're
Sure.
for the demos or for the trailers.
Yeah, to sell it.
Like in a lot of ways, they're not for when you're actually playing the
That's a
game.
good point.
Um,
Yeah.
caveat, probably, I would say, you know, a lot of people have talked about how Red Dead Redemption 2 is just like, you just kind of want to walk around and look at the world.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll say that too. With it seems like the games that push the envelope for their time periods. Like I remember when God of War 3 came out, that was like I remember just being staggered just looking at it and actually just like stopping and just looking at the environment because it was so cool and so beautiful. And same thing with Arkham Knight. Obviously that was 3 years ago and it still feels just staggeringly beautiful. That's partially because it compares to the previous gen. It's the same exact engine, just in like next gen.
Right.
So you were used to the engine, just now it was like so much cooler.
Some of that might be how I game too. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it might be.
spend too much time just
Yeah.
like staring at like how pretty things look. I'm
Yeah.
like, I like try to get stuff done when I play games.
I think you're right though. I think there's a definitely, particularly when you're concentrating on you know, intense mechanics, you're really involving a different, probably I'd assume a different part of your brain than is like aesthetic, you know, right? And yeah, you really, when you get locked in. I mean, I don't, and it might be a level of nostalgia too, but like for a game like this, just with the music and with the skateboard aesthetic, like having the Black Gear graphics felt like more. I don't know. It would have been weird to play like a super realistic version of. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe that's entire nostalgia talking. But like it felt so appropriate for like what was happening, just to like match that aesthetic with the time period that I remember that in. Like I was not distracted nor disappointed by the graphics at all at any point. You know, like it was never took away
Yeah.
from my experience. Never was I like, oh god, this is cool, but like it really like is taking me out of it because it's so old.
I was never like, man, I really wish I could see like the wrinkles on Tony Hawk's like
Yeah.
shorts.
Yeah.
Or his little leg hairs,
And it's
or just
like-
like any of the new
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that like people have
Would
added
be
to
there.
the graphics.
And it's like another level of the realism that we're talking about. Like there's a lot of arcadiness to this.
Oh
right,
yeah,
in
very
terms of
much
not
like high
simulation.
scores.
Yeah.
And,
Well, not even just that, but like the controls of arcade, like just being really simple and being very like not simulatory. You know, is that a word?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Not being simulation based in terms of it feels very like what you played in an arcade.
Which
in
is
terms of
funny
the
because I
movement.
mean it is a straight up simulation.
Yeah, well, it's trying
like-
to, but it's like it's not like Red Dead simulation, right? Like where
That's
like,
true.
the type of movement is like really physically probable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
The way that you maintain momentum and stuff like
Yeah,
that
sure.
is like very
a lot of liberties taken
yeah.
with the way that physics
It's like
work.
an impression of what skateboarding
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
But
which is what we've talked about as being probably one of the main points of games. You wouldn't want a perfectly physical.
You convey
unless you got really good at it.
You convey an experience to your gamer, but the only problem with that is the gamer probably doesn't know what that experience is actually
like. In realism. Yeah.
And so you've got to be careful about staying away from too much realism because you want to convey the experience that people think that they're going to have when they skateboard.
Guitar Hero is a great example of that, right?
Right, yeah,
Which
exactly.
is giving you the experience of something close to feeling like you're able to shred on guitar, which is not at all what shredding on guitar is like.
Right.
But you do come to something, like close to that feeling when you successfully get out this banging riff, which is reasonable to be able to do with some practice, and especially in like a difficulty scaling way. If you can get close to it, that's and some things Guitar Hero are way harder on Guitar Hero than in actuality.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So that's an interesting. Yeah, I feel guitar is a really good example of that because one is literally just the mechanical experience of it, and two is just trying to and it's such an easy. The parody there is so small, and like it's just pairing you. You're literally just playing music, and the music you're listening to. So you have to use music to like encourage like the feel of like use it to like further deepen the experience because the experience is like playing the music. So if you know the music by heart, then getting to like even interact with it at all begins to like jumpstart that process that you are like doing the thing.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Made more sense in my head.
Yeah, I'm trying to. You mean just like because they do use the music in order to like tell you if you've messed up, right? Like it cuts out.
Yeah, but just in terms of the direct relation to like, the point is just to make you try to feel like you're playing music, right? And so the way you do that is you have the music playing, right? Like the band version,
sure.
And then you have like direct control over that, right? So most of the time music is used for like ambiance or effect, or like,
you don't have to like worry about timing the music for a cool part in the game because the
whole game is being able to experience music.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
Along with then that mechanical side of it. So like in terms of, again, like the simulatory effect, it gets a free pass there because it doesn't have to build a whole lot of ambiance. It just, as long as you are in fact engaging with the main mechanic, you are like playing music, which is already like the thing. That's what you do with a real guitar.
Yeah, that's a good point.
As opposed to trying to make you feel like you're in a skate park with sound and mostly just sound.
I mean, there were certain textures and layouts and things like the ramps in different places, and like there was plywood and like that was like a little makeshift ramp in one part.
Yeah. Who didn't barrel hunt when they were?
Yeah, I try to knock over metal barrels on my skateboard. I don't think that sounds very painful. I would not try to do that.
Yeah. That's Kyle.
Well, so we talked about this I think a little bit in the last episode, but like simulation it's tricky because if you
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you
something just happened.
I should have shut this off.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's too distracting for you.
No, it's not. I just saw one thing. But he he jumped and hit an edge and then jumped off that edge to another edge and then jumped off that edge into another one. Like it was like a doof, 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 doof.
It was yeah.
That was clearly something that we could not do and was important to get to the top of things.
Interesting.
So that was a mechanic that did not hit.
Chaining jumps together.
Basically.
Yeah. Anyway,
sorry.
What I was saying was simulation. It's tricky because if you make it too detailed, then it becomes unwieldy and clunky, and it's not fun to interact with, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they struck a really good middle ground here. Did you play any other skating games?
Like I said, I played a lot of the SSX series. So that's snowboarding, which is different in so much as there are a couple kind of like skate parky levels. But they would split them into, like, they had a race. They basically had, like, a race mode, a, like, trick mode, and then a, like, combo mode, where you would go down a racetrack and have to get a certain score out of tricks.
Yeah.
To win. So it was kind of a hybrid in that regard. And it didn't have the same... it was pretty similar. Like, the trick ones, they were just, like, arenas, basically, as opposed to, like, just a straight downhill all the way. Were pretty darn similar in a lot of degrees to this. It was cool. It was PS2, so the grab system was just any unique combination of all four shoulder buttons was a different grab. So like literally L1 was a simple one, but like L2, R2, and L1 was a different grab then. And you can combine that with you had both flips, spins, and then like you could combine flips and spins to be like a full. So you had kind of an omnidirectional jump, and then you could just put grabs on top of that with these different combinations. Then you could also press a button to twerk the grab. That's actually what it was called. Or tweak. It was tweak.
To twerk the grab.
Yeah. Which would just like a modifier button.
Okay.
So you had like however many unique combinations of grabs there are on top of a modified version of each one of those grabs too. But it was really simple. It was a really cool, like that was one thing I was struggling a little bit with here, was to like keep the spins and the grabs distinct and know what I was doing. And the control scheme in SSX was literally just so it was the same thing. You like hold on X in a direction for your jump, and then when you release, if it's like up, that's a flip. If it's side, it's a spin. If it's like in the middle, then it's like a twist spin sort of thing. And then you just hold that, and then you do your grabs on top of that.
Yeah. And it's funny that they make like how you grab the controller to be like how you grab your stick. There is translation there. Yeah. Whereas with this one, it's more like it's like the left
directional.
C button.
It was a little bit like combo. There are a couple like the specials were like a combo almost.
Yeah, it was almost like a fighting game sort of combo style.
And I think to be fair, this system's a lot deeper than the SSX system. Yeah. Yeah. In terms of the types of tricks you do.
Yeah.
The SSX system was more based on speed and momentum in terms of your like the amount of rotations that you could get in. Like in this one, you just have the spin mechanic kind of, and you just have to land correctly.
Yeah.
In SSX, you would when you launch, depending on how fast you were going and how many you do the animation and it get slower and slower as you went. So you had to kind of like judge how many more rotations you could get in before you landed.
Interesting.
And then on top of grabs. That was just kind of the other thing. The other big thing they did in that one was that they had big score multipliers in areas. So if you did you had to like hit a certain jump a certain way to hit a multiplier, and then that was the only way you could like get the high scores.
Yeah.
So you had to time it correctly with a huge pull off a big trick, and then they began adding some new stuff in the further games to deepen the system. That was just the first game, but they added kind of a super move that you could get.
What do you think about like the Tony Hawk style like hunt for this item inside of the level?
I think it makes all the sense in the world.
Yes.
It might get old after a little. Well, not really though, because like, again, it's less about hunting for an item in the like collectathon way that we were talking about before.
Sure.
Or at least some of them. But like again, the whole point is being able to traverse a level. So learning how to traverse that is part of the game anyway. So it really melds itself well. It feels very organic, objective. That's something you'd want to be doing anyway. I thought it was weird to have two, like the skate and the like other collectible.
Right.
Which is fine. I like that it was iterative, so you could collect one and collect the next one.
Yeah.
I like the idea that skate was like it was in order, like it was a way to play the level, right?
Yeah.
And if you follow the track correctly, then you could get all of them in one run, basically. I think that was the intent for that.
Yeah, I do too.
So that's cool. I like that more than just the random 5 things.
Yeah. It's like... Yeah, because it gives you a path to follow that you could like execute really well. Yeah. I kind of wish they would have left some of those letters there, like it's like in Ghost version or something like that, so you could like follow that track.
Yeah, I mean
sometimes maybe if you're a skater, you're better at this, but I'm not super good at like going into an environment and
judging
like this is the path that I could take.
I'm sure that would come with the game too.
Yeah, you develop that. It was really easy on the first one because there were so many paths that you could take.
Yeah.
On the second one, it felt more like you had to read the level.
There's probably
and get
2 or 3 ways to even get to the places you need to get to.
Right.
I agree, and I think too that like I'd assume part of that. So like PS2 with the SSX, like the levels in SSX were like
they were all downhill.
10 to 20 times bigger.
Yeah.
Just because you had so much more hardware to work with and ability to do that. But I mean, it would be cool. Like the system, even in terms of traversal, like the grinding and like jumping off of grinds. Like it would be cool to have like a full downhill level that you had to like run, and maybe they'll have those.
Yeah,
I felt like it was far more kind of open like this.
Yeah.
But I did really. I mean, the sense of speed is fun too, and when you, like I said, just chaining things together correctly feels so good, and then it makes you go faster, which makes you want to keep on being more engaged.
Right.
So yeah, like a time trial sort of thing, or just like a more clear, just kind of like racetrack sort of bit, which isn't like really a thing in skateboard culture, I guess.
Yeah.
But would have been cool, or just like more obvious, how to do that.
Are all the levels in SSX just downhill?
Like I said, so there's 2. There's most of the main ones are, but then they'll have a few that are just straight built for. There's not many, but there would just be a couple.
They're half pipe.
That were basically like on an arena.
Okay.
With a bunch of different rails and jumps and different. It's like a playground.
Interesting.
Kind of thing. There's only one of those. And you could only access that one as like the freestyle version, where you were just trying to get points.
Sure, that makes sense. For me, like
But mostly, 90% of them are downhill. It's a course that you'll finish.
For me, the combo system, I think, is probably one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And I would probably spend more time trying to learn, like, okay, what are the actual, like, moves?
Inputs.
Can I nail a specific move that I go to try to do instead of just typing randomly inputs? And, like, I know that in somewhere in here I'm going to get a grab, but I don't really know what it's going to be. Like, being able to remember, like, what are the trick values? How do I, like, rotate my tricks so that they don't get stale and I can actually get good points? Like, strategizing all that stuff is probably what I would have the most fun doing.
Yeah.
I do think it felt really cool when I was, like, able to play well and, like, go through and get a bunch of pilot wings really quickly. Mm-hmm. Like, that was pretty fun. Yeah. So, I do think that probably just spending more time with the game and, like, getting good at movement would be pretty satisfying, actually.
Yeah, and that's the whole game, right? Is being able to put those pieces together. Kind of the combination of movement with the trick system. Feels like those are kind of the two main systems.
Yeah.
Of being able to move well and being able to do tricks well. And I was coming at it, I was also coming at it with that kind of, like I said, I played so much of the SSX series that I was coming at it with, like, that, maybe not expectation, but that's, like, the only, like, frame of reference I had, particularly in terms of the way you do tricks. Like, it was a motion and then a grab. Those were, like, the two parts of a trick in SSX. Mm-hmm. And you could, like, land on a rail and then it would turn into a grab, but that was, like, or into a grind, but that was, like, there's no button you had to press for that.
Right.
And I think for this one, there was, like you had your spin, which was on one stick, and then, like, the D-pad combination, like, I think left was kicked, like, there were different types of grabs and flips depending on the direction you pressed.
Yeah.
And then I think there was even there were button combinations as well.
There could have been. I feel like we only scratched the surface
of
the move list.
So yeah, instead of just randomly trying to flail and do cool things, actually being able to intentionally do cool things is a lot more fun. So.
Cool.
Sweet. Well.
Do you think you would spend more time with this game if you owned it?
I don't know. Like, right now in my life? Or, like, do I think it's worth spending time with as a game?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, more definitely, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it does do a good job of getting you in, giving you a sense of what it can be, and it makes it really clear that, like, there's so much more that you could get out of it.
Yeah.
And so much better you can get at it.
It does. I do like that it makes it really clear, like, this is what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that the first level, the way that it does hand holding, really helps you to understand that. Like, because
that's the good kind of hand holding, you know.
Because it's so easy, it's like it gives you some of that, like, experience of being a good skater for free, and then you got to start working for it after that.
Yeah.
And
which some people might really enjoy.
Yeah. What is that called? It's the
just giving you, like, a sample of it, and then
you get to play the level in the very beginning, and you have, like, all your powers, and then, like, you
and then you
lose power.
But then you Zelda, God of War.
Yeah, lots of games have done that.
Do that where you start off at full power and then. Yeah, we could talk about that trope too. That's fun.
Yeah,
but
I feel like in some ways this was like that. Like, you didn't start with all your tricks and everything, but, like, the first level was so easy. I wonder if that's why that drop felt so hard.
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, guys, now you have to do it.
And I think there might be some level too of just maybe I don't know, depends on who you ask, but that maybe they could have done the progression better in some ways. Like, just having more than one place at a time to unlock, so maybe you have, like, a couple options to be able to play in and beat, you know? Because now we're, like, just stuck and the game's, like, over until we can figure that level out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and actually all of the modes, those levels are locked.
Right, exactly.
Like, so it's pretty stuck.
Different.
But, all right, cool.
Cool. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did that. I can definitely see why that was... If that is it's either 2 or 3. It might be 3 was the most celebrated version of the... Like, I could see that getting refined a little bit more and being on PS2, and then that is, like, the...
definitive version
the definitive part.
Sure.
But regardless, I can see why that was so fun. I can see people getting really good at it. Yeah. I think it's something I would have been into the Super... I mean, like, I was into the SSX as a kid, so, like, I'm sure if I had those games, I would have spent a similar amount of time getting really good with.
Yeah. And it's the sort of thing that's fun to, like, show your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, look at this move! I can
so
do
much better at your friend. Yeah, or, like, pulling off special moves, which we didn't even try.
Yeah, that's
or getting,
true.
Like, landing a 900 or whatever. I'm sure there's, like, a big thing for that when you do that.
Yeah. So. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye-bye.